Mikuláš.
And the Spirit Wolf dancers will welcome both teams to the traditional territories. Teams in their traditional jerseys, Canada in their red, the Black Ferns in the black, and all these young ladies who have been involved in programming all week. Let's Play Rugby, HSBC Rookie Rugby, and they're getting a taste of international rugby, and of course the cultural exchange is always a big part of international test rugby. Both sets of players hoping to inspire young ladies to take up the game, enjoy the game, and be active. 3,000 rugby balls distributed in the community, and every school child an opportunity to attend this match with the world champions in town. Well, the Spirit Wolf Singers have brought us on to the stage here in Ottawa for Pacific 4 2023. We will now have the traditional national anthem starting with New Zealand.
Veuillez maintenant vous lever pour l'interprétation de nos hymnes nationaux. Now, fans, if you're able, we ask that you please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthems of New Zealand and Canada.
Kia
Oh, Canada indeed. Well, good morning again from New Zealand. Hope you're enjoying a full day of rugby down there. I'm Gareth Rees here, joined by Olympic medalist and great Canadian Ghislaine Landry. And Ghislaine, you have worn that red jersey. You've faced this black jersey many times. What is going on with this women, especially just as we proceed the haka here?
Well, putting on the maple leaf over your heart is what you dream of as a young athlete. And standing across a haka is such a special experience for these young athletes.
Menace, you got me.
Well, there it is, the famous battle chant from New Zealand. It's a call to war. It tells you a little bit about what New Zealanders think about international rugby.
Awesome, yeah.
Fantastic scenes here
Amelia?
as the New Zealand Black Ferns lead their haka. In that Maori celebration are the words, "From the corners of the island to the neighboring islands and around the world, you stand tall and proud, women of strength." If that isn't what we're all about here, celebrating the women's game and World Rugby's Pacific for 2023, I don't know what we're doing here, Ghislaine. That was fantastic.
Absolutely. It's such an iconic moment. Look at the emotion, the intensity in their faces. But Canada has also been laying a challenge. They've been talking all week and really all year about how they want to prove that their performance against England at the World Cup wasn't a fluke, that they are one of the best teams in the world despite not having domestic rugby, despite not having full-time contracts, and they are absolutely up for this challenge. And what an opportunity to play the world champs at home in your backyard in front of your friends and family.
Of course, you referenced the World Cup. The Canada finished fourth under Sophie de Goede, and the New Zealand Black Ferns won on home soil. Well, this is why we do it. So many young people inspired to watch the game, to cheer on Canada. Going national on TSN. Welcome across the country. Sarah Cox, the perfect person for the job. Vastly experienced. She is joined by two Americans in the sidelines and Andrew McNamee, the Scotsman, in the TMO booth. Canada in their traditional red, playing from left to right. They will want to carry, and they'll want to carry heavy. Their forward platform is a big part of their game. Equally, New Zealand do not back away from the challenge. You hear a lot from that woman, Justine Pelletier. She is the little general that runs things. Fiercely competitive, great step, the dancing feet of Varcolau. She's going for the line. She's just ankle tapped. She could have reached out and scored, but she offloads. Does she get the ball down over the line? Is Demant. She's held up short. New Zealand threatening right off the bat in the opening minute. Shipping it wide is Marina Taurino. Nice tackle there in the midfield from Caljabi. The prop rule, just 5 meters out. Going for the line, reaching out, held up on her back. Not able to roll over. Sarah Cox can't get a view. And she's given the try. Sarah Cox had to dig her way in. Sure it was. Pitt Love that rolled over there. Explosive start from New Zealand, silencing the Canadian crowd.
Not the start. That was the clearance kick attempt. It didn't go far, and there was only a single Canadian chaser on that play, so a clear run at the line. Vahakolo almost scored off that right away, but it was the forwards that went to work. Canadian desperate at defense, holding them up short a few times, but in the end, too much power from the Black Ferns to start this match off.
So from that view, Sarah Cox is awarded the try. Maybe some questions from the Canadian camp, but it's not going to matter now as the extras are added. 7-0. Just 2 minutes into this one, the world champions are showing why they are such. Chelsea Bremner, the older sister, gets that one down. Check that. Luca Connor, the hooker, got the try. My mistake. And it will be Caljabi to restart. So, frantic start here. Battled again, and it's going to be a knock-on scrum to Canada.
And the crowd quickly back in it. But Canada will just want to forget about that first minute and get back into it like it's still 0-0. And this scrum attacking opportunity is in a great spot. Right side of the field, about 20,
Height, weight.
30 meters
Height
out.
and weight.
First scrum, this will be somewhere Canada may look to find an advantage.
Crouch.
For New Zealand, Kit Love and Amy Rule anchoring with Luca Connor in the middle. And for Canada, the Merchant Tutusi, who is so impactful.
You've both got to get yourselves,
Menon.
you've got to get yourselves some
Both
high.
Tutusi and Menon have come off
Right.
English finals appearances with Exeter Chiefs. They lost that match, but both played incredibly well. I said Sarah Cox is assisted by 2 Americans, Amelia Luciano and Jennifer Louis. Andrew McNamee in the TMO booth. He wasn't used on that last try, and Canadian coach Kevin Moore may say why not. Free kick to Canada. Is that connect? Now they're going to go quickly. Dugudi, the captain, has that right. Quick break from Shell. She offloads. Tyson Bukaboom. She's a heavy ball carrier. Great skills on it. Juby sat down.
No legs, no right gates.
This is better from Canada, putting a few phases together. Shaw hits it flat. Forteza with the break. Fabiola Forteza going for the line. Does she get it down? Sarah Cox says no immediately. Held out. The crowd disagree, obviously, but Fabiola Forteza went for it.
Fabiola Forteza, such an impact for this Canadian team. It's a beautiful line. She goes right through untouched. And has 2 more defenders to beat, which is a credit to the New Zealand defense. And goes for the dive, but just held up in the end.
So that leads to a goal line dropout. New Zealand kick it from under their post. Shell running, but she's used the blocker there. There's going to be a penalty. New Zealand looking to go quickly, but they're going to settle things down. What great defensive work from New Zealand to get under that ball.
It would have been the perfect response from Canada, but I love the energy that they've come back with. They're running, they're attacking, they're finding gaps already. And the call was crossing, which is an unfortunate call, with a few teammates ahead of her.
Some consistency from Cox, and she didn't use the TMO, and she had an immediate call, just as she did on New Zealand's try.
Step over.
Which wasn't particularly clear from the angle we got. And there's Luca Connor. Line out set piece. Movement. No compete from Canada. Midfield hit up, lots of options for the ball carrier. Again, as Brunt was looking to offload,
I had it
was
from an
knocked
onside
on.
position, then moved into that in front, okay?
Questions asked whether she was offside, but frantic start here just then.
And it's a good result off this line out. The New Zealand backs last week were absolutely lethal through the middle, creating so many opportunities. So the Canadian defense came up well. They came up together, creating the turnover.
Trench! Bind! Set!
Justine Peltier for Canada defeating the back scrum. They hold. DeGoody works it a little bit left. Referee wants her to use it. As she does, goes to Peltier. That one's knocked on in the tackle. Referee said it play on. And she's going to take the Canadian knock on. Moving off the shoulder.
Stay bound.
I spoke with Sophie DeGoody this week, and she mentioned how important the front row is going to be and the battle there against a larger pack against New Zealand. But the Canadian front row, Olivia DeMerchant, Emily Tatosi, Dalika Menon, are going to be a key part of this Canadian performance today. We're already at 3 scrums in the first 7 minutes.
Set!
Ready now!
Solid platform from New Zealand. Chipped away. Reno Kyle. Again, more big contact, and the Canadian crowd liked it, but there's hands in the ruck. Canada will be penalized.
Great shot from Fancy Bermudez. Starting to make a name for herself, is a sevens player, but has scored a few tries, and she is not going to back down from contact or tackles against these Black Ferns.
New Zealand will kick the touch off the penalty, and they will regain possession because it was a penalty if it goes out. But it hasn't gone out. Good effort from Flo Simons. That's her first touch. Here's the penalty. Canada thought they could get hands in there.
Look at the shot from Fancy. Gets low, gets in her way. And unlucky there because Fancy's doing everything she can to get out.
And you're going to stay on your
but
mark.
Her feet were still tangled
You guys
up.
are going to give numbers and come in quicker, please. 6, 6.
So you can hear Sarah Cox, the official, who's obviously mic'd up, laying on the law. Look at Connor getting that try.
Get out.
New Zealand looking to drive to the forwards, and Canada's going to be penalized. Coming in
Entry.
the side entry. Interesting decision here
You want to go?
for Dement. Yeah, she's going to have a shot at goal. Doesn't want to get too caught up in the frenzy here. They're up 7-0. This is very kickable indeed. Yeah, there is a clock here, and those of you new to this, the penalty shot clock. So 60 seconds after the penalty's been awarded, the kicker has to complete their kick. It's 90 seconds off a try. Renee Holmes has got about 30.
As you mentioned, this is Holmes. She's been working on her long-range kicking, I'm told. So Canada's going to have to be disciplined and not give up too many opportunities to give these penalty kicks.
It's coming up to 10 minutes played. Renee Holmes has pushed it across the face. So reprieve for Canada. And they're going to run it out in a wayward kick. A strange decision. It's going to give possession right back to New Zealand. Offload. The Canadian crowd liking that Amy Duplessis was wrapped up. It's so organized are the Black Fern team. There's the show and go from Sylvia Brunt. Knocked on in the end.
Just lost it forward and then you use the back again. Just knock on.
And watch for her, number 12, Sylvia Brunt. She was the player of the match last week. She created havoc against Australia. But look at the shot from Juvie. Sarah Cal-Juvie, textbook tackle, gets her shoulder and keeps her legs alive.
Always looking to offload. Lagongo I Piloto Le Mapu Atai Brunt. Sylvia to us for the rest of this game, we hope. Just knocked that one on.
Bind! And set.
Pelletier has a little look over at her opposite number. And Goody pops up. They're going to ship it and use the right boot. They go long and low on this turf field here in Ottawa. It's an artificial pitch. It was very, very hot for the earlier match, Australia and the USA. Things have cooled off considerably. 7 p.m. was kickoff time here.
That's your second attempt.
Another penalty against Canada for a second attempt. Sarah Cox having no time for Canada going after the steal. And looks like maybe Peltier's in a bit of trouble here.
Hands in the rack.
Should get some treatment.
You happy?
And Demant just going to keep it going here, going for territory. But Canada's going to have to be careful around these breakdowns. Clean it up a little bit. Giving New Zealand an option for points or territory is going to creep up on them. The initial defensive effort was good. The inside cover from Justine Pelletier. Look at that.
Yeah.
The number 9 on the number 6. Quite a size difference, but she does well and then just can't get herself out. Well, the second player goes for the turnover. The attitude's great, but you got to wait till that first tackler gets out of there to take a shot at the turnover.
Well, Justine Pelletier took a shot to the face there from the knee, but she's been assessed. She's back on the field. The pride of Rivière du Loup, Quebec. Canada needs her.
She's been named vice captain to this team now, and that's a credit to her attitude, her leadership, and her performance over the last couple of years within this team.
She's come off a victory in the French Club final for Stade Bordelais. That one's stolen. Sophie de Goody and her pod get up in front of that long throw.
Right here. Get up. Wait.
They choose not to use the big forwards. And using Shell's right boot. Not a lot of return on that, as it will be a New Zealand lineup.
On here.
Forteza was so close to getting Canada right back into this match. Incredibly dynamic player. A little bit of noise from the crowd means the call has to come in from Love to Connor. Forwards arrive, they simplify it, and this time more effective. They form up. They're driving. They've got 10 meters to go. The Canadian line beckons.
Break it away.
Breakout.
It's a tackle now. Wait.
By the vice captain Simon, but she can't get there. Low carry.
No, don't touch. Hands away.
Kawanakolane Roos. Mikaeli Tua gets over the 5-meter line. And it's recycled. Pip Love spills it back, but play on.
Back by Black.
And some big hits midfield. Caljavi's been at the center of a lot of them. One of the question marks coming in was some of the players have been playing a lot of sevens. Could they convert and set the defensive lines? That's Caljavi, Bermudez, and Simons.
Tackle! Stay outside.
5 meters still for New Zealand to go. That's tipped on. Canada's up to it for the moment, knocking them back. Half gap, it's a full gap, and dancing through the hole. Rouahe Demant. Outstanding work. The World Rugby Player of the Year. Just showing pure class there and getting New Zealand's second try.
Canada really struggling on these exits, so New Zealand getting opportunities to attack from within the 22. In the end, Demant just has a clean run through there, right through the gap. Delika Menon can't get enough on her to take her down. But Canada needs to sort out these exits. The kicks, if that's the option, need to be moved around the field a little bit more, or start looking at keeping the ball in hand, because they look good with ball in hand right now.
Great awareness from Demant. Recognized she was up against the prop and just stepped her, set her up, and got in behind. So as Holmes adds the extras, that's 14 points to 0. The world champions, New Zealand, up over Canada.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I just wonder, there's been so much going on off the field, which is fantastic, but I wonder if there's been an element of distraction for this Canadian team.
It's always a factor playing at home, you know. There's demands, there's community events, there's family, there's friends. But this team is motivated, and I don't think it's been a distraction for them. I think it really has motivated them. They just need to settle into this game.
Sarah Kaljubi playing with a heavy heart. There's a nice kick in deep. Canada bring the pressure on, getting downfield well. It was sent. But New Zealand, no panic from them. And again, the half break. Demant looking for the offload. There was no one there this time. Kaljubi takes away the midfield and then makes the tackle. New Zealand getting good support over the ball carrier. Oh, there's a high shot from Gabrielle Sant. Referee's letting play go on. Oh, now the arm's out.
For that high tackle.
Now she's got a little word in from her assistant official, I think. Oh, and a nice big hit midfield from Bukaboom. Oh, there's a push off the ball. And Bukaboom getting in under the skin of the New Zealand players.
Jason Bukaboom, just like her name suggests, loves to get into the tackle.
We should explain that comment. The Bukaboom family, very famous in ice hockey circles up here, and definitely get under people's skins when they play that game. A great sporting family from Ontario.
She's also earned herself. She's the second most all-time capped Canadian rugby player on the women's side. Look at the shot, the experience. She knows how to get into these games, and she knows how to compete even in the one-on-one little battles like that big tackle.
This is the great Cowichan Rugby Club. She's one of her clubs. Maybe looking to go to Europe. And keep eyes on that. These are several of the Canadian women. Well, pass out the back row is really well read by Forteza. Unitari now. Not manual, just trying to settle things down.
Ball is here.
Now they're trying to disrupt. Now they're going to go to the little chip shot. We've had some funny bounces on this turf already. Oh, beautifully gathered and still going. Still in open field. Amy Duplessis. The center pairing connect. And finally, it's going to be a run-in for Midi Rangi Paul. Explosive breakout from the New Zealand Black Ferns for their third try.
No. There's more.
It was the chip off the open play. Canadian defense is coming up hard. New Zealand recognizes there's a little opportunity in behind before the fullback can get to it. And Amy Duplessis collects, but look at the support line. She's got 4 players outside of her. Canadians desperate to chase. But Meriyangi Paul, in the end, doesn't have to do much, but well earned, well worked.
Nah, they're all good, mate.
She got 2 tries against Australia last week. She's resumed.
Too late.
Just textbook linking up the center pairing, the loose forward, and then the finishing winger. That's how you counterattack.
Plenty of tries, mate, so they're all good. You can just
Good work from Brunt to keep that play alive as well. And Simon involved. Well, a dream start for the New Zealand side as we're coming up to 20 minutes played.
Well, Meriyangi Paul, she came from netball, as we've seen from a few of the nations that play netball. A great crossover sport to rugby, and she's really finding her way in just her second cap. Debuted last weekend against Australia and looks very comfortable on the field.
Big hit, but a great take from Kennedy Simon.
Ball's out.
Ball's out, so Pelte did well to tie it up, but New Zealand regroups. Just constantly asking questions are the Black Ferns. And they've won the penalty.
Fine. You've got to get out. You've stopped clearance.
Very quick on the whistle again. And that was Courtney Holcount this time, not getting out quickly enough.
Canada getting called for the same penalty here over and over. The tackler too slow to get out or not getting out while someone goes for the turnover, and that's 6 penalties in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, no problems.
New Zealand controlling the pace. There's a
Time's
plop
off. Kennedy, you'll take the line,
in
though,
the
okay?
rules, just getting some attention.
Right, this penalty count. Yeah.
Sophie de Goody's going to have a little chat with the referee. Let's listen in.
We're just going to change it now, okay? You will be on the line. You will be on the line.
In true Canadian fashion, Sophie de Goody apologizing for her penalty. It'd be a good opportunity for them to just have a little word with each other, connect on these penalties.
This New Zealand look, the new era of New Zealand rugby, Alan Bunting. It's a very southern influence of the Chiefs in the team.
And keep in mind too, Kendra Coxedge has retired.
Yeah.
Some of the breakthrough players from the sevens aren't here, and still the New Zealand team is looking as good as they are at the moment. And it's a credit to how much rugby these athletes play as kids, how ingrained it is in their culture, and that's something Canada is trying to continue to build, but you can see the impact that it has.
Yeah, the Super Rugby OPK is the envy of Canada right now. They're trying to build it. Conversations with World Rugby, how they can build competition in North America so the players don't have to leave. Great to see that competition.
Okay, right.
Super Rugby OPK
Let's get
building
in and
New
get
Zealand
set,
and growing, we understand, even greater
Let's
next
not crab
year.
up and down. We've got the mark here. Not too wide. In you come. Thank you.
Sarah Quox from England. Again, New Zealand, Canada steal the ball, but immediately pounced on by Chelsea Bremner. 14th cap here. Again, Canada missing first up tackles. It's going to be costly. On the ball, Michele Tua. Still going, still driving.
Kicked out.
Kicked out the side.
Away from the rock.
Holtkamp jumps on it. And now a counterattack option. Minen is met. Peltier's directing traffic. They're going to go to the boot again. Through Juliet Schell, which finds touch.
Well, Fabiola Forteza, her second lineout steal of the match. And if Canada can just hold on to those turnovers, it's a great steal. It's a great opportunity. But New Zealand getting it back.
Well, Canada
this is your final
encouraging
warning.
them.
You take time like this again, I will free kick you.
There we go. That seed was planted by the Canadian players saying, today, let's get it in.
And it's the third time Sarah Cox has asked them to do so.
First touch there. Off the lineout for Paul.
No, out.
Short ball. Brunt hits up hard. So impressive is this 19-year-old. Strong carry there from Pip Love. The front row completely changed out. Ponsonby, Henwood, and Kalu Navali were up against Australia. Complete change for this week's game against Canada. Alana Bremner. Nice little dart from her. Another penalty.
Off feet.
Maybe we can have a chat. Off feet is the call against Canada. Well, this is comprehensive at the moment.
Yeah, of course.
And they're going to choose a scrum. And in that is a statement. They're up 21-0. And they're saying, we're going to keep the pressure on. We're not going to take an easy 3 here.
Yeah, the way the game's been going, they're feeling confident. They've got a great set piece here, and a center scrum is a dream for the backs. Any option and every option is on right now. Completely split. 2 outright, 4 set to the back.
Well, the last time these two teams played, it was 28-0, but it was 6-0 at the half. Canada very much in it.
Bind!
The opposite story here. Let's see if they can hold out with a midfield scrum. Attacking options both sides for Marina Tauino. We go behind the try score. Nice tackle there from Bermudez. She did really well, and she's won the penalty. New Zealand this time arriving off their feet.
Once again, Fancy Bermudez with the big tackle. New Zealand tried some misdirection, but Canada held strong, held their space.
Fancy, a product of the Nor'Wester Club in Edmonton, and perhaps no greater club has given more to the women's game in Canada.
Like you were going to ask me a question.
The third cap, he played really well and has trained really well for Coach Kevin Rouet in Spain against USA April. She did exceptionally well. To the front, a bit of trickery. That was the scrum half in there. Peltier trying to stay on the park.
She's in the way.
Great shot from our team. There's Sophie DeGoody with her first meaningful carry of the match. When she goes forward, Canada goes forward. This is a bit more on brand for Canada. Courtney Holdcamp smashing it up. Inside ball to DeGoody. She keeps her feet. Now Peltier goes wide. There's the tip. Doesn't go to hand, it's off the leg. But immediately scooped up from Amy Duplessis. Great awareness from her. Now Canada's got it back. Caljuvi passes it out. Menem kicks it wide. DeGoody spinning, running. Let's go Canada ringing out. Button tries to go at the back door. Doesn't go to hand. Hands on it. Exceptional work there from Chelsea Bremner. Both sides guilty of spilling the ball. The ball's been in play for some time here. 26 minutes played here in Ottawa. This is the fourth game of the 2023 Top 4 competition. Bermudez tackles without the ball.
I think
she's trying to pick it up. The referee says it's okay. DeMatt chips it wide. New Zealand have gone backwards, but have done well to regroup. There's a nice little tip pass. And again, another penalty.
Shot on the ball.
New Zealand not releasing this time. It looks like Mika Tua may be in some discomfort.
The tackles coming in from Canada might be taking a little bit of a toll. They are up for this in the tackle department. And Canada getting themselves down the field for the first time in this game.
Yeah, and ill discipline for both teams, but Canada suffering mostly with those 7 penalties. Only 27 minutes into the half, but New Zealand now with a couple. As Pip Love gets a little bit of treatment. She debuted against Canada way back in 2014, the veteran.
Yeah, I thought she touched it, yeah. Okay, no problem.
And she missed the 2018 Rugby World Cup. The PE teacher from Otago will know what to do with this sore ankle. There's her career.
It's business time when they tape outside the boot. An ankle spat there.
Got a few words for Chelsea Bremner. Bremner, of course, a massive line-out presence. Only Tutosi, normally very apparent in the field, has been relatively quiet here. Peltier goes back to the short side. Again, the pass is not going to hand. Orteza does well to pull back.
No, leave now, Black.
Peltier, half gap. Offload, back inside to Dimension.
You know, ball off feet! Off feet, leave it!
Again, there's hands on it. The referee's letting him go. Lots of offloads. DeGoody a little bit isolated for the moment, and I think that's cost her, and it's cost Canada, penalized.
Yeah, you could see she was looking for the offload there. Brought the ball in, tried to tuck it under, but there was no runner, and that left her isolated.
New Zealand go quickly on the tap, perhaps sensing Canada a little bit frustrated with their turnovers. Nice pickup there, the low pass. The show, and then realizing nothing was on, had the discipline to take it up, reset. Canada getting off the line fairly well. That one spilled forward, and Canada can have a go here. Maybe a chip and chase. Peltier looks at the short side. The goodie's in space, and she can kick.
Advantage. Yep. Nice. No problem.
Multi-talented athlete showing her skills there as the goodie thought she may be able to get that one over the top.
And it's Justine Peltier with Sophie. The option was there. She just needed another meter or two earlier to get that kick away. Luckily, she's back on her feet.
Sophie the goodie spent some time in London with the Saracens. Also involved with Canada's sevens team. Will be back for the Olympic qualifiers, the Rugby America's North qualifiers in Langford in August.
Ferns!
Selected, is available for that sevens campaign, looking to book a place in Paris. The ball pops up the side. The goodie does get it away. A nice wide floated pass. Again, pretty complicated stuff midfield for Canada. As Flo Simons is brought down, but they created something eventually. Doesn't quite go to hand. Paige Ferries with her first touch. Canada looking a little bit disorganized for the moment. This is better. Nene. Pride of Vulcan, Alberta.
Okay, it's lost.
Boom gives it inside to her second row partner. Holcamp gives it back to Marchand.
All back. All back.
Ball's gone backward on all of these drops. Tutosi stays down, and it's been stolen by Demand. It's just smart play. Well, both sides trying to play. And there's Francis Ramirez.
Just get them out for me, mate.
Well, this Canadian side are really letting the ball go. They're playing. I don't know if they've actually set up the right to go out the back. They haven't hit up enough. There's a high tackle. Holcamp, who's been really busy here. The Uxbridge, Ontario, sorry, the Rimby, Alberta native. The Red Deer Titans will be proud of her effort here in the opening 30 minutes.
As you mentioned, Canada trying to move the ball. They're looking for that under deep option. But they haven't necessarily frozen the defenders in the middle to get around. But they are really starting to move the ball, starting to get a little bit expansive.
Great engine.
No, the medic's here. No, it's okay.
Promising World Cup as well.
Okay, Tom on. Okay, Tom on.
Tutosi. There's a drive. Finally Canada set up, but they pull out immediately. Looked like they were maybe on the move. This time they carry through the middle. Setting things up for later. Bookable, one of the best ball players in the team, gets around the corner there. Peltier still coming. She's rocked at the base. Now the little tap to Courtney Holcamp says go on.
It's in the hands, let go, Black. It's in the hands, never left connection with it.
Shot, hits her in the midfield. The Marchand sprinting into the New Zealand 22, but brought down from behind by Maya Roos. This is better from Canada, their best phase of play. The captain takes it up. The vice captain ships it wide. Peltier hits Maynard, who tips it to Bookaboo. On her back, but the referee's going to come back. An original penalty to New Zealand not rolling away. Quick tap from the goodie. 5 meters out. Big collision. She gets it down. Sophie De Goede on the board for Canada.
Well, there it is. They've been building, working themselves down the field, and it's the captain, Sophie De Goede, quick off that penalty. Canada penalized for the same call numerous times, and then New Zealand, they punished them for the call. Sophie pushes the tempo, lets go, and works herself through 4 defenders.
Well, not for the faint-hearted. Sometimes nice when you're the captain, you can back yourself to make that decision. What a hit. I think it's Kennedy Simon, the opposing captain, who took that one, and De Goode's got to make the kick here. Apply to Victoria, castaway wanderer.
It's got to be clear, man, isn't it?
Referee stopped her here because of the injury.
Okay, mate, if it's not clear, then don't worry so much about it.
The referee's just getting a word in her ear.
So unless you've got an angle that clearly shows that separation.
You're right. There's some question whether she got the ball down, and they'd have to clearly show that she didn't have contact with the ball. De Goode's not offering any advice. So it's interesting she hasn't gone. Oh, she's going to have a look. So Sarah Cox is not having a look. She's let Sophie De Goede take the kick. De Goede doesn't go through her full routine, which is maybe a mistake, but it goes through. A full 7-pointer.
Such a talent, Sophie De Goede. And that's the perfect example. Smashes her way through 4 defenders and then gets up and takes the conversion amidst the distraction and the holdups.
Well, an important score, I think, just mentally, if nothing else, and also bringing this crowd, this home crowd here in Ottawa, back into the game. 5 minutes to play in the first half here. The Black Ferns up against Canada. Boom gathers the kickoff, brought down immediately. Well, it was that lady, Olivia de Merchant, in her 55th cap, the pride of Mapledale, New Brunswick, who got the initial break that got Canada that try. Well, this is much better. Canada's starting to win a few collisions and get some go forward. Peltier slices across the front of the New Zealand defense. De Goede, nothing on for her.
Trying to net on the way down.
And I like the option playing out of there. They didn't go to the kick, and they've got themselves to the 40.
Well, wonderful messages got on the field from Kevin Rouet and Jack Hanratty, the Canadian coaches. Maybe put the boot away for a while and see if you can force New Zealand to defend for a period. Caljuvi attracts 3 black jerseys. 4 minutes to play here. Again, De Goede cleaning up the mishandling. There's a hand in there.
Good there. We go back. There's no advantage. You're always going backwards.
So there's a high tackle. We're going to go back for that. Canada didn't gain any advantage.
Just high on the way down.
If you're new to rugby, that the referee sees an infraction they can play on, and if the team that doesn't offend gets an advantage, they can have it. But nothing came there. So a much better last 5-7 minutes of play from Canada, Ghislaine.
Absolutely. There's Julia Schell. She's looking to get them down the field now into the New Zealand half. But I do think if Canada keeps the ball in hand, they look dangerous. They're starting to put together some phases, forcing New Zealand to tackle rather than just kicking the ball back and giving New Zealand ample opportunity to play freely.
Yes, time's off.
We've got time off here. It looks like Luca Connor was getting some treatment behind the play, and she's actually left the field. So on comes last week's hooker, Georgia Ponsonby, no slouch as a replacement. That is New Zealand's quality. But Canada driving now, keeping it in. We saw a lot of this at the World Cup from them, and it was effective against the Americans in the first Pac-4 game. We've regrouped. I actually thought we'd see a lot more of this, Ghislaine, but they've waited until 37 minutes in. De Goode's got her hands on it. They're on the New Zealand 22, and they're still going. Same maul, says the referee. So New Zealand can't tackle this. It's been shipped on to Tyson Bukaboom.
And they've got open
They're
play.
open. Booker moves away. The short pass to Forteza. Can she get it down this time? Yes, she does. Outstanding response from the Canadian forwards to put them right back in this match.
And the entire team comes in to celebrate. They marched that maul down 40 meters, and then Fabiola Forteza, who's already had so much impact, is the one to finish it with the big run. She almost had one earlier, and there she is, Tyson. But that is a forward stride through and through. The work at the maul, continuing to roll and move and work against the New Zealand defenders.
Got the same in the stadium as well, mate,
So DeGoody, who was putting in all that work, now has only a minute to kick the conversion as well. New Zealand regrouping under the post, both physically and I'm sure mentally. They seem to be in total control of this match. Remember, they turned down that 3 in front of the post, which would have given them a 24-0 advantage. They're now only up 9 with this conversion to come. Make that 7. One try to difference here in Ottawa as Canada claw their way back against the world champions.
The combination of Fabiola Forteza, Sophie DeGoody, they are all over the field on attack and defense, and the two of them are having a big impact so far.
We're talking to Coach Kevin Murray. Her description of Forteza is dynamic and competitive, both on display here.
Inside.
Now they're going to kick long. A nice kick there from Shell. There's less than a minute to play. New Zealand right at halfway. Oh, really a half of 2 halves.
Take the line.
New Zealand dominating for the first 30 minutes. Canada responding to 2 tries.
And New Zealand are set out of this line out again. Sarah Cox warned them before, but letting them do it again here.
In 5.
Canada compete again, but can't steal this one. So New Zealand a chance to respond right at the end of the half. Great teams do this. See what they can conjure up.
Thanks, mate.
Chelsea Bremner takes it into contact. She spilled it. Chitosi flips it out wide, and the crowd knows what they'd like to see. It goes wide. Referee said advantage over. I don't know how. Maybe because it was a knock-on. Crawling forward is Paige Ferns.
You weren't on the ball.
So Canada have improved that passing game, the first and second receiver. The ball's going to hand a bit more consistently. Stop and go from Phil Simons, University of British Columbia product. 7 standout. The goodie's wrapped up, so she wisely goes to ground. We're in the red numbers here, so Canada could kick it off the park, or they can keep playing as they've done here. Oh, it just doesn't bounce kindly for Paige Ferns. She knows it, but what a great first half of rugby. New Zealand came out of the gates dominating, up 21 points, but Canada respond with a quick 14. Here in Ottawa, it's New Zealand 21, Canada 14.
Oh, what a half of rugby as it has been between the Black Ferns and Canada. Black Ferns up 21-0 after 20 minutes, but we go 21-14 at the break. Honey Hirami Smiler, Charmaine McMenamin. Hans, Canada coming right back into it. We got a game.
We do have a game on our hands, and they really did come alive in that last sort of 14, 15 minutes. And so Black Ferns will go into the sheds, be really wary of that because they sort of dominated that first 21 minutes, and now they've sort of fallen away, Charm.
Yeah, I think the physicality of the Canadian girls is, I wouldn't say a shock, but just a bit different and probably not used to that. So I think the girls just getting used to that and just need to settle down a bit and get into their stride.
Well, stay with us on Sky Sport. All the halftime analysis coming up soon. It is the Black Ferns leading Canada 21-14 at the break.
We are here at the home of the Ottawa Red Blacks, a team in the Canadian Football League. That's gridiron. As New Zealand women ensure Ghislaine Landry. There is no panic in this room. They've won a World Cup. They know their rugby. And Coach Alan Bunting will have a clear, concise message, I'm sure.
It'll be clear, but they will talk about how Canada got themselves back into this game. Canada starting to put the pressure on, so New Zealand will want to contain that. And if you're Canada, you're really proud of that comeback. They'll need to remain calm. They are definitely in this. But they need to keep playing the way that they want to, keep to the game plan, take the opportunities that present themselves.
My question is, has the game plan changed a bit for Canada? We saw what their forwards achieved there in the last 5 minutes. And I'm wondering if they get behind the likes of Tyson Bukaboom, who was outstanding in that first half.
Absolutely, and I think the other thing is to keep possession. The kicks aren't going their way, and they're just giving New Zealand the opportunity to attack. So if I were in that room, I'd be saying, let's keep the ball. We're getting go forward. We're gaining momentum. We're getting ourselves down the field.
There we go. Second half about to start. Canada's Sarah Caljuvi gets us underway. New Zealand, Black Ferns, the world champions, currently up by a try. We have 40 minutes of rugby left here in the fourth game of the Pacific Floor Championship. The winner of this will take the top of the table. Put their hand very firmly on a qualifying position in WXV to take place in November. The World Rugby New Championship with the top 6 teams in the world down in New Zealand.
And that's a nice kick. Found some space behind the winger. With the fullback out in the middle of the field.
So a little bit of niggle at the front of the line out between Pip Love and Tatosi. Just wonder if maybe New Zealand took their foot off the gas a little bit, cut off a couple of tackles. There we go. Here's the drive I thought we might see. The Canadian forwards, such a big part of their success at the Rugby World Cup last year. Now they're crabbing across field. Well, I would say clear message from head coach Kevin Rouet. Why don't we try this? Peltier looking for the short side. Could have gone earlier. Coach Ferns has to stop and start.
You've lost it, Black.
Hands off call for Black. It's moved away. A positive start for the Canadians, although a great tackle from Michaeli Tuu. That ball's loose. Tatosi. Good tackles coming in. Sylvia Brunt doing her job there. Bukaboom on the ball yet again. Shell is hit. Player and ball. Right, a substitute on the field. Substitute hooker Georgia Ponsonby. They lost Luca Connor early on. She scored a try, but then had to leave the field. You're just joining us.
Canada have got numbers out right here if they move it.
Needed to be tipped, but Caljuvi doesn't take the risk. Nancy Bermudez, oh, she's hit solidly. Across the chest, said the referee, fair tackle. New Zealand players caught in there. Maya Roos. Again, would have been no-look pass, and it's spilled loose. The kick and chase from Amy Duplessis. Sabrina Poulin does so well. The player from St. George, Quebec, was recently in the HSBC Dream Team in Toulouse in the World 7 Series. Doesn't have much space here. Gabrielle Senf looking for the handoff.
Yes, please.
So New Zealand are really committed in defense right here. Wow,
okay, it's all done.
nice tackle from Kennedy Simon.
Make sure
captain.
you find the ball. Yes, please, Reds.
It's slow ball now. They're going to extend the
No,
ruck,
wait,
so
wait.
Peltier can put a boot in. And they go to the box kick. Not too high. So really free ball for New Zealand to build their attack. Mateza keeping an eye on that. Keeping it alive well is Paul. She got one try early on. 3 tries for New Zealand in that first half. Nice flat pass to Duplessis. Ball's out. Chelsea Bremner. Oh, the show and go, and finally the offload to Amy Rule. Canada coming up too quickly, leaving a hole. They've exploited it. Amy Duplessis in the gap, over the line. Amy Duplessis gets New Zealand's 4th try and the bonus point.
Well, she's been putting the pressure on the Canadian team with her chase and her work off the ball, and earns herself a try on this one. The defense in a bit of a panic. Players still trying to get back. And a simple 2-on-1 to put her over.
Aridiana Marina Toino got the work done. She saw that the Canadians became disconnected on the fringe there. And she took the inside gap and set up Amy Duplessis. Great work. And extras added from Renee Holmes. So New Zealand in the first 5 minutes silence this Canadian crowd and have a chance to celebrate.
Let's go a little bit.
Duplessis, the South African-born player who came to New Zealand as a kid. Family able to come over and support the World Cup campaign last year. Moved to Invercargill from South Africa. Oh. Strong carry from Sylvia Brunt again, sitting down. I think Canada won't want to be kicking that ball away, giving this clean possession to New Zealand. There's the half gap. Demant creating again. Oh, the pass doesn't quite go to hand. There's a smile because she knew she was away if that one stuck. Ruahe Demant, remarkable vision, attacking the line and getting the break.
It's a nice breakthrough. And New Zealand were well and away unlucky not to finish this one. Because she had nobody in front of her. Canada benefit there.
So Canada line out, a few fresh legs on there for New Zealand. Kate Henwood's on for Phil Pipalove.
Say more. Always
Valley's also on there. Yeah, for Amy Rule. So the whole front row getting a rest. Again, Canada having some success with that rolling maul. Ooh. Solid shot goes in on the Canadian captain.
No, now Zoe.
Oh, out back through the middle. Still going through the middle. It's Mena. She decides to run over the opposing fullback, and she does. Quick ball. Really good defensive work, taking away the space and then putting in the tackle from the World Rugby Player of the Year. Demant. But they've fallen off their feet. Penalty to Canada.
Well, she's a nuisance on defense. Ruahe Demant creates or gives up the penalty there, but Canada can't find touch on the clearance.
It's blocked, and she gets it back, so some reprieve for Julia Schell. The mistouch options out wide. Gone backwards to the referee, but now it's spilled.
Yeah, no, it's not. Thank you.
Nothing on there for New Zealand. We're going to hear the whistle, and we do.
Not going anywhere. Knock on.
Just slipped out of the goodies' hands there.
Yeah, back and forth possessions here. They missed the clearance kick, but benefited to get the ball back on the bounce.
Yeah, unfortunate kick from Julia Schell there, just putting her team back under pressure, but her teammates got up to block the kick. Nice work from them. Alex Tessier, of course, out of the Canadian effort. The stretch fracture, hopefully will be back in time for WXV. And we're going to see some fresh legs for Canada. Gabrielle sent from Regina, Castaway Wanderer in Canada, and an Exeter Chief in the UK. She's being relieved by Sarah Sabota, the Belleville, Ontario product, also playing in the UK for the Loughborough Lightning. And she calls Brantford Harlequins her home team. Another famous Canadian rugby family.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrum steady. Pops up the side. Brunt, not surprisingly, carrying the mail. Now they're going to go short side. Big subs are on the field.
No.
That is Kalinuvali. She is a presence. Goody's trying to steal it. Now the kick, a little over the top. It was spotted. There was a little bit of blocking. The referee's letting them play. Sabrina Poulin steps out of one tackle. Lukabu.
Tackle!
Baljuvi brought down.
Francis.
And there's going to be a penalty for interfering there. So a free one for the Canadians. Tagudi says, why not? And another kick. A big hit came in on her. And Kaluna Valley. So the original penalty will go to Canada. New Zealand not rolling away. Both sides have been guilty of that today. 10 minutes into the second half, but you sense the temperature's gone up a little bit. Now Tagudi's going to take over the kicking duties. She misses, although it just goes into touch. I think a good decision from her, but she tried to chip in behind, and look at the treatment she got from Kaluna Valley.
It was a free play again for Canada, so she tries to put it through, knowing if they don't get it, they will come back to that penalty,
They got subs.
in which they did.
Well, we haven't heard Emily Tutosi's name a great deal. We knew she was going to probably have a long shift at hooker.
Hang on.
20 meters out. I'm just wondering if we may see her on the back of the line-out drive. More subs coming on the field.
Oh, 6 and 11 black.
Well, great moment for Lucy Jenkins on the field for her first Black Ferns cap. Congratulations. Outstanding Super Rugby competition this year. The Canterbury product is now a Black Fern. The overthrow get cleaned up by Canada's Manan. Taguti. Take a look at the line for a moment. Now Shell's having a go. Canada finding some return for the quick pick and go. Taguti spilled another one. Thought it went backwards. Total effort from both these sets of women, doing their nations proud.
Number 10.
And there all are little gaps around the breakdown, which Sophie Taguti is seeing.
I mean, those screens may indeed mean for her. She's a rock star, but actually they are for another nice moment for Canada. The Caledon, Ontario native, Claire Gallagher in the 22 jersey has just come on. Fancy Bermudez will relieve her. Her first cap, the Ottawa Gigi. Congratulations to her, the local university team member.
Water off. Yeah, I know.
Well, some players will go their whole career without playing at home. And here she is in her first cap for Canada in the town she went to university, close to her hometown, and you're certain there are family and friends and university teammates in the crowd tonight supporting her. Congratulations to Claire.
And on the other side, Lucy Jenkins. What a moment from her. Amazing final this year. Matatu lifted the Super Rugby Opiki Cup.
Set!
So good to see the health of the women's game. All these young players putting their hands up. Big drive from Canada. They've stolen the head. They have indeed. And wisely going to the short side. The rugby brain of Peltier. Smart. Quick pick. 5 meters out. Canada down 14, looking to narrow the gap. Still pounding away at the line. Would it be the dream story? As Gallagher had a look at the line. Red jerseys lining up. 2 meters to go. Tutotsi. She's short. Taguti short. With the dive. Sarah Savona, she stopped. Inches in this one. Looked at the pass, but going over the top. Olivia de Merchant, who else? And the goodie saying, hey, settle down, ladies. We're right back in this. Canada's third try by the pride of New Brunswick, Olivia de Merchant.
And showing her experience. She has been so crucial to Canada up front. We mentioned how important the front row would be in these games. Inch by inch, they went forward, effort after effort, and look at Olivia de Merchant. Even with the pause, she's able to use her little footwork to get around and over the line. And there's Sophie saying, let's go.
She knows she's got the kick to take, but she also needs her team still has some work to do. She's got 45 seconds on the conversion shot clock. Sophie de Goody, hours spent training on Windsor Park in Victoria, kicking goals. Sweet strike, and what a lift the captain's given the team, keeping them within one score against the world champions. Well, they tried about 10 times, but finally the Merchant said, I'm going to have a go. And her 55th cap. Not a bad body of work in the Canadian jersey. Long kick by New Zealand. Poulin gets it stripped. That's the experience of this New Zealand side. Again, constantly causing problems. Sylvia Brunt. But now it's New Zealand who spill it forward. And a little congratulations there for Kaljuvi. And I mentioned early on, Sarah Kaljuvi playing with a heavy heart. Lost her father just recently. And vowed to put all her frustration and disappointment in that into this match. And she's done it well. A great leader and a player that you know well. And is really proud to put on that red jersey.
She's been around Canadian rugby for a long time. She's really starting to make this number 12 jersey her own. And she has showed up in this game, as you mentioned, with family on her mind. And our thoughts are with her family at this time.
Big shout from New Zealand. Referee stopped it.
Straight out the same tunnel.
Ooh, perhaps mercifully for the Canadians. Sarah Cox has said the ball's come back out the tunnel. It needs to be struck by the hooker who's in the middle of that scrum if you're new to rugby. But what a push, and I'm probably a mental lapse from Canada.
The shoots out the same tunnel, we're just resetting it, all right?
And Canada will keep possession here.
Giritana Hohayat.
Awesome, thanks, mate.
Coming in the 9 role. Former basketball player. And a 7s star, so any space out there, she's going to have a go. Peltier's still in there. And the 9 jersey always scanning the field. Look at her.
Binds! Set!
So Canada perhaps a bit more prepared. They're still on the back foot. The Goody has to dig in deep to get that one out. Peltier says, I'm going to put the boot to it. It's an awkward kick. Ooh, it's kept in. So not great execution from Canada there. Perhaps the moment getting to them a little bit.
Well, all game the kicks haven't been executed. They haven't gone where they need to. And once again, 30 meters from your own line, a chip to the winger might not be the best option. You've just given New Zealand territory and a good opportunity off this line out.
Full 6-person line out for New Zealand. If anyone knows how to execute in the last 25 minutes of a game. Nice ball out the back door. Pass, little overrun there. Options and Duplessis. She's been a live wire. It's a one-on-one battle. They've got it out wide. Textbook finishing from the New Zealand Black Ferns. Pure class.
It's a scene we've seen before in this game. Canada kicking away possession and New Zealand making them pay with a try. Mariangi Paul with her second of the game. And Canada's backs just struggling with the numbers and the overlaps, having to turn in and defend. Sabrina Poulin trying to trace across, but they've run out of time and space on this one. But they've given that possession to New Zealand. And these are key moments. They're getting themselves 7 points back in it each time and then giving up the opportunity to go again by giving possession away.
Well, what a battle. And if you're back in New Zealand watching on Sky, Ricky, Charmaine, and Honey in the studio, hope you're enjoying this. And for Canadian fans on TSN here in Canada, hope you're enjoying the Canadians giving their best against the very best in the world. Conversions pulled wide. So 12 points the difference. They really are uncompromising. As you said, New Zealand jumped on that poor execution. Went 2 phases and it was over. Kaljabi kicks it long. The pod goes up and it's gathered through Mairus. Spilled momentarily from Kalinivali. Offload. The scrum half. We said she likes the space. What a step off her right foot. Still going. Ohio. But intercepted by the Canadians. Much to the right of their home fans. And guess who? Forteza getting all the way back there. The referee's not happy with that. Offside.
New Zealand player still trying to work back. Hasn't gotten offside on the quick ball.
Siding break from the substitute scrum half. New Zealand couldn't turn it into points. The third kicker for Canada does find touch this time.
And that's great territory by Claire. Look at the step by Hohea. But Canada working back. Fabiola Forteza again with the impact. Working back. Look at the athleticism to grab that ball, hold on to it mid-stride. What an effort by her.
For me, shades of your former teammate Karen Paquin, just pure determination, always being a pain and disrupting that burst from New Zealand. Ooh, that lift was a bit early. The referee's going to have a reset.
Let's stay on the line. Ball in quicker, please. Back it goes. We reset again. Let's make sure we're staying on line. Let's start screaming people's faces.
No messing with Sarah Cox. So Titosi still in the game. They suggested she might be staying for a longer shift. The Manitoba player herself. Just came off the... that one's not straight.
On the outside.
Not much in it.
Crowd not happy with that. But the ball's got to go down the center.
Right, let's make a decision.
And something that the New Zealand women are used to is a nice partisan crowd, especially with the World Cup on home soil last year with those great scenes.
Say, Mark.
But Canada, very rare for them as a 15s team. You've had it in Vancouver as part of the World Series as a 7s player, but 15s crowds, 10,000 here celebrating. And it's great to see, and great to see them getting right in behind the women in red.
Please. In you come.
There's one thing about Canadian fans, regardless of what's actually happening on the field, they will absolutely support their home team.
Ponsonby hits her target. They get it wide. Mixing it up midfield. Another great offload. Doubling around. Beautiful work. The center's combining again. Duplessis decides to kick. It bounces up high, but knocked forward, and it's another try. For the fullback this time, Renee Holmes. It was Brunt and Duplessis combining to carve up the Canadian defense.
Come off, not black, to put it into England.
The referee just wants to make sure it's not off a black hand, as that was knocked forward. I think it's off a red hand, but the referee's asked to have a look. What do you see, Ghislaine? I think Sarah Cox wants to make sure it wasn't a black hand here. As it gets loose, it wasn't a black hand that knocked it forward.
The initial break from Brunt.
I've got it off red, not black.
And then the chip through.
Here it is. Here.
Perfectly weighted.
It's definitely off red.
It might be off.
Yes.
Might be off Holmes there.
We'll try to let you know what they think.
The crowd is quite certain it's off Holmes.
Still waiting for a call. Andrew McNamee, the Scotsman in the TMO, in the truck with our crew.
Yep.
That was not an easy one. So I think she's going to allow it.
Yep. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Yep, that's bad news for Canadian
The
fans.
kicker doesn't know it's been awarded.
Yeah.
The work off the ball for Mamie Duplessis this game has been unbelievable. She's been chasing everything. The meters she's put in are building and building.
Just making double sure that there's definitely no contact from black, is it?
Hit from the sideline, hanging up, and it's good.
We've checked. There's definitely no contact.
So explaining to the Canadians they've checked and they're comfortable that it is a try. So back we go again, 40 points up for New Zealand. Canada have some work to do in this last 17 minutes.
Just wait.
Well, outstanding work from her today. The youngster, Sylvia Brunt. Now we could see a little dose of this from the New Zealand forwards, but they've knocked it forward. Canada have a little bit of a chance here. The midfield scrum. And with some of the sevens players lurking around this field, Poulin, Simons, Bermudez, Kaljavie, and Paige Ferries. I fancy Canada's chances, although Kaljavie's going to get a breather. And on comes Shoshana Sayumanatafa, the White Rock, BC product. Very, very exciting young player. University of BC, she's impressed in the preseason games, the warm-up games. The BC Bears, so one of the few British Columbia players in this team. Let's see if Shosh can get her hands on the ball.
What a story for her. She got her first cap in 2019, gets her second cap in 2023. A credit to the work she's put in off the ball, and a great first touch.
That's all you ask for. The goodie with some of her fellow forwards walking a bit here. Looking for the short side. You saw the hand go out there. Peltier still using whole camp. Shell. It's the wrong color jersey, and on her debut, busting into open field was Lucy Jenkins. That one's gone down through Kennedy Simon. Well, it's all happening here. A great read from young Lucy Jenkins. Popular player, a bright future ahead of her.
And number 1 red, did you say?
One of the things that's happening here, and perhaps it's a question about the depth of the Canadian team, is that Tutosi at hooker only just gone off, and Justine Peltier
she then plays the
is still on the field.
Yeah. So that was good
key
with that
players
one,
for Canada, but in this heat,
it's good so far because you're
they're
pushing
playing the
straight, so keep it like that, right?
Well, there's Tutosi getting a breather. McKinley Hunt on the field.
Sweet.
King City, Ontario's finest, the Aurora Barbarian. These are awesome moments for these young women. Their coach has patched up some sort of bleeding situation again and is ready to put in the scrum here. Simons is lurking behind the scrum. We'll see if she moves into space. The Goody digs it out. She shows right. Again, not great play from the captain, the vice captain there. Too much indecision. Holcap. Well gathered by Bermuda. She picked it up well. Ferns puts it back in field. Off and running. Sabrina Poulin. She trips herself up. Great breakout for Canada. Poulin does well to just keep possession. But they're in New Zealand territory. Tosi's still on the field. Apologies. And she's been involved in these last two plays. That ball's held up, but Canada's moving it forward. Oh, and they spilled it. So real energy from the Canadians, but not the result they wanted.
No, it's a great break from Sabrina Poulin, trying to push the tempo. Little inside ball from Paige Ferries, and she escapes the first tackle. And the little sidestep, sometimes that's the downside of this turf. Lose your feet a little bit.
Turf toe.
But Canada trying to stay in this game.
Right, let's go. Time's on. Let's form up.
Alexandria Ellis on the field.
Crouch.
Another Ottawa native, Barhaven Scottish.
Lines.
And in Ottawa, Gigi, the local university team. New Zealand put in. They're going to go short side. Through Kennedy Simon.
No,
She's moved to the 8 hole. Goody trying to steal it. Forced to release. Nice hands. Back up front row playing there. Well, then the kick through again. It's worked previously. Poulin's got a lot of ground to cover. She's on it. She backs herself. Puts it down. Peltier. What an engine on this woman. Christine Peltier still going. Playing the best team in the world, and 67 minutes into it. It's passed the ball from the base of every breakdown. A wayward kick. Could this be costly for the Canadians? Well, Judge hitting it at the angle, coming at pace. Rangi ball, she puts it back inside. It's gone backwards. Kalinuvali. That one doesn't go to hand. The referee's going to blow a quick whistle there, even though Canada had their hands on it.
And New Zealand just really playing now, even despite 11 handling errors. We saw that last week as well. But it's a testament to the talent of this Black Ferns side. 11 turnovers would normally, or 11 handling errors, sorry, would normally mean problems, but the amount of times they've had the ball and done something brilliant with it is far beyond the 11 handling errors.
Kendra Williams on the open side here, with the captain Simon going to number 8. Reynolds, they're a plenty player, fresh legs. That's it, half gap. Oh, look at that great work from Reynolds, getting to her feet, stealing the ball, textbook jackling. Duplessis, who's been superb in this match at all the right moments for the Black Ferns. Well, this is the confidence of the world champions, just pushing it through the hands. That's a greasy, wet ball. These sweaty conditions.
Off feet, leave it right.
Alex Ellis dumps her, trying to steal it. Ohaya doing her job. Maya Roos still on the park. As is the Kate Henwood, another favorite Frenchie player. She's conceded the penalty. And it's Holcamp, I believe, who's got the ball. Sophie DeGoody can get long sidelines, both sides. So she says, I'll do it down the middle instead. I don't know if it was intended. It's not a bad option. Paige Ferries is up to it. That one doesn't go to hand, so Canada gains some territory here. Loose ball still. Gathered by Renee Holmes. She's got to try to her name. Duplessis. Not Duplessis. That is Kelsey Tonetti. Nice run from her. Canada throwing their bodies in there. Sit down, says Georgia Ponsonby. Nothing on out wide. She's shown a lot of class for her young years as Sylvia Brunt. Good decision from her there, although Canada come in, counter-attack. Alex gets her hands on it. Maybe one last chance here for the Canadians. 10 minutes to go. Is there offside there? No, the referees let it go. Incredibly quick off the line.
Canada still wanting to play, and they're creating the turnovers at the breakdown to get the possession back, but just can't seem to hold on to it.
Well, we've got a time off here. Deserve it for both sets of players.
Here, ladies, you're going to have to help me out here. Number 12.
Yeah, and it is going to be number 12, Lagongo Ipoloto Lemapu Atai Brunt. Outstanding game. What a performance. In defense, on the ball, with her footwork, superb stuff. That's the final knock on.
Right, let's go. Let's go.
And there's Olivia Apps, another local player. You know her well, just then. What a moment for her. Her first cap, the Lindsay Ontario product. Captain of the Sevens group.
Well, she was a ball carrier at the 2015 Pan Am Games when we played there, and here she is. She's the captain of the Sevens team and getting her debut for the women's 15s team.
Crouch!
Congratulations to Olivia Apps and her family, who are most definitely in the crowd tonight.
Quite a famous family in these parts.
Set!
So she'll be putting in at scrum half, taking over from Justine Pelletier. And on the back comes Poulin. So hard. Uh-oh! Guess who? Duplessis. Does she have enough gas to get there? Just short. She tries to pop it up, but it's been spilled. And a big collision. Great tracking back from the Canadians, but Duplessis has been an absolute thorn in the side of the Canadians all day.
Absolutely. Fab looking for the offload, not really in control. And Duplessis, again, the work off the ball. Look at the chase. Olivia Apps is there with fresh legs, but look at Flo Simon. She's played the entire game so far. Sprints back, saves Canada.
Duplessis, there's some questions asked about her defense. She worked really hard on her game. Coming out of the Super Rugby OPK. And what a result. The hard work has paid off as she's been an immense force here. Canada scrum under pressure. DeGritty spins once. She's had to do that several times in the second half. A little bit tired and a little slow to get up for some of those Canadians. But again, these are all experiences that are going in the bank. We're all looking at Rugby World Cup 2025 in the UK. We're looking at WXV in Canada with the bonus point they've secured here. Will probably put their hand on a trip to WXV in New Zealand in November.
It's the secondary goal of this tournament. Obviously, they wanted to come in and finish first in this tournament, but eyes on the WXV. It's an opportunity for all the women's teams across the nation to get more experience, more games, grow the women's game, and Canada want to be in that first tier.
And apologies to correct myself, the 3 tries won't get that bonus point, so still up for grabs.
Stay there, stay there.
It would be a goal of Canada in this final 7 minutes to try and get over the whitewash.
Advantage.
Even though they may not get the list, they're playing advantage for New Zealand.
Short!
Short, you heard our referee. Oh, what a pass and what a finish. Amy Duplessis doing it all.
Well, we've said her name so many times throughout this game, and she deserves that one. Nice little line.
Well, a hat trick puts your name halfway on the MasterCard player of the match, but all the rest of the work she does has surely got to have her as a leading candidate. So really, if Canada are being strategic here, that does not matter. With their eyes on the WXV, they should be looking to secure a bonus point. They need a try. You will get 1 bonus point for 4 tries. That would mean it's impossible for the USA to catch them. Well, and we have had it confirmed to be awarded after the match. The MasterCard Player of the Match will go to Amy Duplessis in her 9th cap. A remarkable performance from her as part of this world champion Black Fern effort. More possession for New Zealand. Quite clinical. The hours on the training pitch are paying off here. There was a scare, and they've responded. And slow was the New Zealand arrival. Ferns thought she had a steal there. I thought she might have had a fair claim. Lucy Jenkins with another strong carry. Well, and at the center of all this effort was Demant. There's a steal. Ruby Apps is on it. Referee asks her to release, and she does. Maya Roos ships it wide. Demant is wrapped up. A little bit static for New Zealand at the moment. Canada having to work from side to side here in defense. Finally, the kick comes in. Will this be an opportunity? Pushing it wide. Here's Claire Gallagher. Good quick ball from them, but New Zealand quickly off the line. That one spilled backwards from Claire Gallagher. And now New Zealand attacking through the skipper. She's put in a body of work here. Tip pass. Nice short ball, and Demant pops up. Who else? Right foot, left foot. Apps comes back with the tackle. That's gone backwards off a red hand, so it's play on. Just meters from the line. It's going to be a penalty against Canada and a yellow card. Hasn't made the call yet. Never got back on side. I don't know where the ruck was that she had to be on side from. We'll have a look at it. But that is a sin bin. And I think it's Canada's captain, Sophie de Goody, who won't take any further part in this one. There she is. Frustration, I'm sure. What an effort she's put in. Sarah Cox's game, it was a professional foul as she was coming back, and that didn't get back on side. And she prevented a score. There we go. New Zealand scrum. Lots of high numbers in that scrum, so they're trying to settle and make sure the subs do their job. But look who's in the middle of all that for New Zealand. They don't always get the shout-outs, but Maya Roos and Chelsea Bremner just plugging away in the engine room 4 and 5. You don't win test matches like this without a big effort from players like that.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
I wonder if this replacement front row might have a look at a pushover. No, they're going to ship it. Tons of space with one short. Canada can't cover the space. And in over in the corner is Kelsey Tonetti. Was supposed to be playing at the PR7s competition in the U.S. Was called into the squad last week. Great moment for her. But simply executed. Canada without their captain at number 8. Just had too much space to cover on the short side. Timings maybe coming in when she didn't need to. Kelsey Tonetti, try for New Zealand.
Just watching the clock in the corner, okay? All right? Yeah.
Referee reminding the kicker of the minute conversion shot clock. Well, it's job done. Less than a minute to play here. Again, maybe the message has got on to Canada. It's wear and tear on that body. It's the turf here. She tried to prevent it, but those black rubber balls are tough for Renee Holmes. She's still got to kick this goal, blood and all. Step to the side, and then the right leg pendulum will come through. She's having a look. She's just left it out front. Won't really matter in the larger scheme of things. And as I was saying, hopefully Canada have at least the intent to try and get a try for a bonus point here.
Let's go. Let's go.
That one's bobbled. We're
Time
in the red
up
numbers.
prior to the knock-on.
So prior to the knock-on time was up. And that'll do it. Sarah Cox blows the whistle. And the Canadian crowd gives the women in red a big cheer. But in the end, it was a dominant performance from New Zealand. They win this one 52 points to 21. Hugs all around. Team that traveled from Brisbane last week. The Black Ferns have come into town in Ottawa and made a big statement as they top the table here at World Rugby's 2023 Pacific 4 competition.
A big win in the end for the Black Ferns, but perhaps a little bit flattering there, that final scoreline, 52-21. It was 28-21 after 52 minutes, but Charmaine McMenamin, Honey Hirami Smiler, Charmaine, where did they click back into gear maybe in that last half hour?
I think they just started going really direct. A few girls with their catch passing skill set was unreal, and they were getting the ball to space and they were breaching and bending, and you saw when they got their phase play going, man, it was unreal, especially those second touches and that supporting play like Honey said before. Yeah, completely agree with you. You just, I suppose, saw that change when the bench come on as well. The energy levels just went up, and specifically in the set piece, you saw Tanya and Kate make a real impact in some of those scrums, and Canada just kind of fell away a little bit. You know, it felt like they were coming back into it, and then they dropped away, and they couldn't keep up with the pace, I'd say. Yeah, they'll be disappointed, Canada, won't they? Because, as I say, they did come right back into it. It felt like, though, every time they just about clawed back, New Zealand either forced them into a mistake or they made one themselves. We also saw maybe a little bit more running from halfback, Marino Tohinu really kicking that off, and then Hohaia coming on. How does that, I guess, set the team rolling forward and then allowed the backs to shine like they did? Yeah, I think in the first half there was quite messy at the ruck, so you definitely saw them clean that up, which gave the ability for the halfbacks to have a run and have a dab. And then you saw how it changed the game. Once they started holding in defenders, everything just opened up a little bit wider. Yeah, they definitely started playing on top of them once they got that momentum generated through the ruck. And I really liked, I suppose, those different connections that you see, the way Iritana plays versus Rihiano, but also Ruahei. Like, she's just so prominent through there, and just her ability, I suppose, to her game management skills, alongside Kennedy, who's really controlling it in that forward space as well. But across the board, I think a whole lot of players stood up for the Black Ferns. Yeah, right when they needed to, as we say, as Canada came back into them. 7 tries in the end, 2 to Mirirangi Paul. It was Luca Connor who got the first one. We kind of credited Chelsea Bremner. We're still not entirely sure, but Luca, you've got plenty, so maybe just grab another one. Demand brilliant again. A couple to Paul, as I said, Holmes, 2 to Duplessis, and Kelsey Tenesi coming on. That impact off the bench, we talked about Lucy Jenkins at the start. What did you like about the spark plugs and the impact that they made? Oh, I just thought they really added something. They didn't go on there just to be on the field. They really showed what they could bring to the team. And you saw Kelsey with that run towards the end there. Man, that was unreal for her. And to see her actually playing again was fantastic. Oh, what's exciting is the creating competition within, you know. And so you think about next week when obviously they move on and play USA, and everyone's competing for positions now. And so you're just seeing this real, I suppose, change in hands and players playing differently and having to adapt to the different styles. But also those combinations are really starting to solidify. And Sylvia Brunt and Amy Duplessis, they took it to another level this weekend, and Amy was just out there having fun. You could tell she was just enjoying herself. And she was the MasterCard player of the match, Amy Duplessis, and she's having a chat with Ghislaine Landry.
Congratulations, Amy. You just flew over to Canada a few days ago. What's the secret to putting in the meters that you put in tonight?
Oh, I guess it's a team game. We've had an awesome week of prep and just happy to come out here and do everything I could for my team.
And the Black Ferns are known for the culture. Can you describe the bond within the team?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're sisters. We play for one another, play for our family. And when we come over here, you know, we just want to show the fans all over the world that we're one team and that we can do anything.
Well, congratulations tonight. It was an amazing game.
Oh, it looked like she's starting to play with a lot of confidence, Amy du Plessis. There's a lot of variety and versatility within the backline, but it's that combination with Sylvia Brunt. How have you seen that build, given both Sylvia and Amy probably had limited game time in the World Cup?
Yeah, and it's probably a credit to Ruahe as well. They're all good there. I think like Ruahe and Sylvia Brunt, like, man, they're unreal. And then giving Amy the time and space to actually do her thing.
Yeah, I think she just works tirelessly off everything. You see, she pops up everywhere. She either runs hard and direct, or she can play out wide here. She's drawing and passing. She's just really starting to evolve. Also, her spatial awareness. You know, she's putting kicks through. She's really just becoming a complete player in and around that midfield. And this one, I thought she would have been in had she hit into the corner.
Thank yourself.
Look, she managed to bag one towards the end, and well deserving of it. She had a really outstanding game as well.
That intercept one where we thought she was going to get time, she actually anticipated that, right? She was looking for it.
She was looking for it. Yeah, well, her defence, she's been playing high all game. So, man, like you said, honey, her work rate's just outstanding.
Yes, a good player who's really feeling to cement her place in this Black Ferns side, Amy du Plessis. MVP in a big win for the Black Ferns over Canada, 52-21. We'll take a quick break. More with us here on Sky Sport shortly.